I have mentioned the Caracole in a previous video about cavalry charges, and now I am dedicating a whole video to it. Coming up. Hi, I am The Crow and this is Millennium 7 Star, the channel that helps you make sense of military history and military technology. So, we are talking about the Caracole. First, don't Google or search it on YouTube. You will get a lot of unrelated stuff. The actual articles are few and far between, so don't bother. However, despite the scarcity of digital records, this is a subject that is quite debated by historians because it is somewhat mysterious. First, the name. Contemporary authors do not use the term or use it with a different meaning. I was actually unable to identify the first author who used it, but all contemporary historians like it, so you're using it too. So what is the Caracole? The Caracole is a cavalry tactic in use from about 1530 to 1640, so we are in the pike and shot age. So the cavalry was deployed in a deep formation with many ranks, say from 6 to 12. The formation close onto the enemy, an infantry formed body, up to 20 paces distance at a moderate speed. The first row discharge their pistols and move to the side and then to the back of the formation to recharge the pistols. And this is pretty much what we know about it. The primary sources are hardly in agreement on how exactly the tactic was executed, when was employed, if it was effective or not, and why it was necessary in the first place. Proper comparison of all the sources is obviously too complicated for a YouTube video, but I will try to present the different options that we are aware of. How was it done? One version is that the first rank steered the horse on one side, fired a pistol turning toward the enemy, eventually steered on the opposite side, fired a second pistol, and then fired on the side to the rear. A different version is that the first rank formed a file and then moved in a sort of circular dance, parading in front of the enemy just outside of the pike's range. A third version is that the same parade was executed by file and not by rank. When was it employed? It was employed mainly against formed infantry forces. The introduction of the pike, as explained in the video about cavalry charges, made charges almost impossible because the horses do not impale themselves on a hedgehog of pikes. Cavalry was still very effective if it managed to attack an unprotected side or managed to attack a unit not yet deployed for battle or a unit in marching formation. In a pitched battle, however, there were few opportunities for the cavalry to do so. We also have accounts of cavalry units performing the Caracole against each other, but this was a rare occurrence. Was it effective? We have some accounts of effective Caracole fire, but they are quite few and far between. Even with a modern pistol, firing from 15 or 20 meters and hitting a target is difficult and requires a well-trained operator. More so firing from horseback. True, the target was often a group of masked men, so there was little need to aim to a specific point, but still we know how even more concentrated volleys from muskets at a later period were not as effective as they seemed. We also have accounts which explain how pistols with the large and slow balls in use at the time could be deadly at close quarters but quickly lose effectiveness with the distance. So I believe that the effectiveness was probably more psychological than real. It was actually a tactic that many contemporaries disliked. Some point out how it was very difficult to reload a wheel-lock pistol on horseback. Some others say that rather than attacking, the cavalry looks like retreating while performing the exercise. In some cases, it also happened that after firing once, the cavalry rank just abandoned the battlefield with the justification that their job was done. Why it was necessary to introduce the Caracole in the first place? We already said that the introduction of pikes on the battlefield in the 14th century caused the cavalry losing its effectiveness. So, I believe that the Caracole was the response to find a different way to be effective. With the introduction of firearms, cavalry could carry a couple of pistols, so I think that the Caracole was an attempt to put the new portable firepower to good use. Some historians have advanced the hypothesis that such a practice was accepted also because could give every horseman a moment in the spotlight on the battlefield. So, whatever the reason, I believe the Caracole remains an historical oddity in a time of transition. Now, thank you for watching. Goodbye.